Welcome to National Pension Partners, where retirement planning meets peace of mind. Today, we're diving into the 412(e)(3 plan, also known as a fully insured pension plan. This isn't just any retirement plan. It's the gold standard for stability and guaranteed benefits. How does it work? Simple. It's funded exclusively by life insurance and annuity contracts. This means no market risks, no actuarial assumptions, just ironclad guarantees. Think of it like this. You're a small business owner who hates surprises. The 412(e)(3 plan gives you predictable, stable contributions every year. Your future benefits are backed by insurance contracts, so you know exactly what you're getting. No guesswork, no headaches. But there's more. These plans are designed to maximize your contributions and offer significant tax advantages. And with National Pension Partners, you're not just getting a plan, you're getting a team of experts, attorneys, CPAs, actuaries, all dedicated to making your retirement as secure as possible. We provide personalized consulting, ensuring that your plan is tailored to your specific needs. Best part? Initial consultations and proposals are absolutely free. $0, zero commitment. So if you want a retirement plan that's as reliable as your morning coffee, head over to nationalpensions.com. With the 412(e)(3 plan, your future is in safe hands. Retirement planning never sounded so thrilling. Perfect for small business owners who like their finances as predictable as Monday mornings. Stable contributions, ironclad guarantees, and serious tax advantages. It's the trifecta of financial security. And with National Pension Partners, you get a team of brainiacs, attorneys, CPAs, actuaries, ensuring your retirement is as secure as Fort Knox. Oh, did we mention the free consultations? That's right. You get a personalized expert proposal with $0 down. So, if you want a retirement plan that's as reliable as your morning coffee, head over to nationalpensions.com. Because when it comes to your future, boring is the new exciting. Retirement planning never sounded so thrilling. For more details, check out National Pension Partners at nationalpensions.com. Retirement planning never sounded so thrilling.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the media show on the Pod TV network. I'm Nick Pellavita. I'll be your host for today's show as we discuss all things relating to the media. And with that, we're going to be bringing one of our producers who produces three shows, the Russia, China, Ukraine show. Also, he produces the show on modern investing and my favorite, the chess show, where none other than Sasha Starr. Hey, Sasha, we were discussing the chess show, and I kept thinking I was going to show up to watch these games because I'm following the World Cup. I think it's a great event, but I've also been playing again. I started to play at the Badalona Chess Club here in Barcelona, and they meet at the same time your chess show goes on. So I've been just watching it once I'm on record as opposed to watching it live. But the people in Badalona are having real problems with me. I played 18 games, and they've certainly lost 18 in a row now. So I go around playing all the players there, but they never win a game. They don't even draw. They just lose. But what really got me was when I'm watching some of the games from the World Cup now, you're telling me the Ronian Aragashi game, that was a speed game that was not slow. I hope it was a speed game because the moves were awful. When I saw those moves, I was going, I can't. If he's a 2,700 player, I'm a 2,800 player. I mean, Aronian, are you serious? I wouldn't have ever made those mistakes in a tournament game. Now, speed game, maybe because you're moving real fast and stuff. So was that a tournament game or was that a speed game? The Iranian game where Aragashi plays knight h3 and resigns. Obviously, he's busted.
You see, Nick, like in any business, you have to follow the money. And you will do your great analysis of what's really happening today in the chess world. A few years ago, let's say, 20, 30, 50 years ago, the World Championship was a pinnacle of all chess world. The prestige, the money, the prizes in the World Championship were 2, 3, 500 times the prizes of international tournaments, even like Linares and some other notable tournaments. Today, situation changed with the development of online chess. You see that the prestige of online tournaments with the prizes of $200, $300. Then you have institution by the name the Grand Chess Tour, which was a brainchild of Garry Kasparov, and which now has 5, 6 major international tournaments, including speed chess, normal so-called tournament chess, and so on. And the last round was final in São Paulo in Brazil, and Caruana convincingly won it. Now, the phenomena also is that this, by far, the strongest player in the world, former world champion, but by today's standard, he is above like 500 times of all remaining chess players, including world champion Gukesh and Caruana and Nakamura, and just name it, it doesn't matter. Caruana is, today at least, he's a chess god. He's a god of chess, if you want to call it this way. He is superior to anything what existed before him, what exists now, and he refused to play in the world championship. So for him, okay, there are two factors. One is motivation, one is prize money. He disregards both. He doesn't need this money because he can play a few blitz tournaments 3-4 days each and get about the same money what he will get out of almost 2 months long championship, plus preparation, plus all that stuff. So he doesn't need that because he proved beyond any reasonable doubts that he is by far the strongest player of all time. Now, he doesn't need prestige, he doesn't need the money. Then this deflated all the system of present world championship, because if you don't have the by far strongest player in the world participating, then you are it's a nonsense. It's a well, okay, so there will be some prize money, so a FIDE will be paid, its top officials will be paid, the challenger will be paid, and so on. So it's basically, this is a money laundering scheme. There's nothing more than that. If Carlsen doesn't play, that's not real champion of the world. So what Carlsen does play, though, he played all the speed tournaments, he played all the blitz tournaments. He even, just a couple of days ago, he destroyed Caruana in so-called World Blitz Championship. It's a very interesting system to play a bunch of 5-minute games, 5+1, I think. Mm-hmm. Then 3 minutes game plus 3+1, and then say 1 minute game, 1+. So in 5-minute games, Caruana was able to hold his own. He was -1 after 7 or 8 5-minute games. Then in 3-minute games, at the beginning he was doing fine, but then the Carlsen took over, and then in 1 minute it was devastation. It was just a complete disintegration of Caruana. So here we go. Here is a Carlsen who officially today has no titles, and he's playing the winner of this World Grand Chess Tour. He's best performing American player of the year. Actually, financially, this year was extremely good for Caruana. And what other titles he has, it doesn't matter. He was destroyed by Carlsen. So this, okay, here is now World Cup being played. A lot of top people are already out.
Right.
Do you think I think I know why there is no motivation for these players like Kiri and other top grandmasters who are playing in all the Carlsen's repeat and blitz tournaments and making, say, on average, $100,000 in one tournament, which lasts 3-4 days. And even in the worst case scenario, they will end up with, say, $25,000-$50,000, and then next week they will play another. And here they have to play two classical games. They have to prepare with their seconds, so they have to bring their seconds and other people, and it eats into expenses. And whatever price you'll get, you will be lucky to get your expenses paid. And then what? So next round, the same thing. You have to compete with another top player, and most likely you will lose at the end of the day. So it's okay. So there are top three prizes really besides the money. It's participation in the candidate tournament. So what's such a big deal? Candidate tournament, a winner of which will play somebody with the name Gukesh, who is now officially world champion. What's a big deal out of it when people who are playing regularly in Grand Chess Tour and Carlsen's online tournaments, they're much more prestigious. They have better commentaries, they have better visuals, they have better broadcasts, they have everything better, prizes, everything from organization to the very last. Even if you be last in Grand Chess Tour, you still probably make more money than the World Chess Cup.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but Sasha, where's the money coming from? When I was playing, it was Fischer had to beat everybody up to try to get like $100,000 prize fund. The money just wasn't there. If you won the World Open, which Alan Treffler did, he said he made like $2,250. So when I was playing, the financial rewards and tournament play just really wasn't there. But where did all this money all of a sudden come from that these players can go from tournament to tournament and snatch $50,000 to $100,000 to $200,000, in a weekend, and then go to another one and do the same thing? Where did all this money all of a sudden drop into the chess world?
It's a development of online chess, which led to the phenomena of Chess24 and Chess.com. It's now one company, two different platforms, but still one company. Phenomena of Magnus Carlsen, who became so much superior to anybody. And although I must say that if you take his two matches with Karyakin and Caruana, he didn't show a lot of superiority in the serious slow games, but he was, of course, brilliant in rapid and the blitz games. Also, blitz wasn't played there, but rapid games, he was so superior to both of them. And then he destroyed Nepomniachtchi, although first 6 games were almost about equal, but then he just destroyed him. And after that, he quit. He decided, okay, he defeated twice Anand, which was sort of passing of torch because Anand was still from the older generation players.
Right.
And he convincingly beat him first time and second time. So that chapter was over. And then the younger player who came, like Karyakin and Caruana, he defeated both of them eventually through this blitz rapid games, but he still showed his superiority. And then he destroyed Nepomniachtchi. He decided that there's nowhere to go from there. Okay, so what else? To beat Nepomniachtchi one more time, or to beat Caruana one more time, or so on. There's Carlsen doesn't need money, that's for sure. He's extremely well-to-do financially.
Right.
He sold his company, by the way, to Chess.com, so he's substantial shareholder of Chess.com, but also he's independently wealthy, so he doesn't need money. He doesn't need to prove anything to anybody. So this is where we are coming. And Carlson, with his name, he attracts enormous amount of money from corporate sponsorship. The money are going to, especially now when it's shown on the internet. You can every day, you can get up at 6 o'clock, 9 o'clock, whatever time you want to get up, bam, one button, and you see a superb broadcast, usually good commentaries, and so on. And it's just fantastic. So it's never been available before. It's only now. And Grand Chess Tour is the same thing, superb organization, money coming from Rex Zingfield, who is an extremely wealthy and powerful individual. And so they can hold on this tournament for another 145 years and figure out, okay, here's simple analysis of where's the money coming from.
Yeah, I was looking at the numbers on chess.com from David Alabist company, who bought a company of one of my students, Will Stewart. And I found his numbers to be quite interesting. He claims 200 million subscribers. Now, I don't know if they're paid or not paid, but if they're paid, he charges like $40 a year. You're talking 800 million in roll, Sasha. Now, I heard that the valuation of his company exceeds $1 billion, which I would not be surprised that chess.com would be today $1 billion company. It's kind of a phenomenon that he was able to roll up that and beat out the ICC, which was the big Mahaf for years. In other words, the ICC was everybody played on. Now chess.com and Lee Chess seem to be the dominant players in the game.
No comparison. I mean, chess.com is so much more advanced and have the pool of players second to none. So Lee Chess, okay, it's a good, there's alternative platform still around, but of course chess.com is superior to anybody in every respect.
Yeah.
A stock question for you, but it's a media question because Sinclair, and we know Sinclair is very much of a company. I think that they're sometimes considered a conservative media company, but apparently EW Scripps stock has surged 40% because Sinclair took stock in their company, roughly 8%, and they're pushing for a merger. So they're going to have a merger possibly between Scripps, which I think is a publishing company, if I remember correctly, and Sinclair, which is known as a conservative company. So would you even bother to invest in broadcast media and everything like that? Because they're saying that their stock is surged 40%, at least Scripps did, after Sinclair took this effort to buy them out.
No, probably not, because there is a huge competition in all this area, and I wouldn't invest in any of these companies. The only company that I would consider to invest is Netflix. So
and Netflix had their run-up. See, the real problem is a lot of them have run-ups already, and there's no really room to make money in the media stocks right now, so they're really tough. The last one that I saw went bankrupt. It was a guy named Dr. Phil, which I don't know if you can even see in Bangladesh or Canada, but he was a good friend of Oprah. And then he created his own media company. He's trying to recreate what Oprah did in her media company, but realized the shifting sands have already taken place. So he raised about, you'll like this, Sasha, he raised $400 million. He launched his media company, and 6 months later, he's in bankruptcy court.
Well, apparently Trump administration is doing something positive, according to this article, because they're saying broadcast station owners like Sinclair have been eager to do mergers as they push for deregulation under the Trump administration. So they're trying to get Trump to be more into deregulation. So in August, Nexstar Media Group, the biggest owner of these stations, agreed to acquire Tegna for $3.54 billion. And apparently Sinclair is also considering spinning off or splitting its venture units, which include pay TV networks like the Tennis Channel. So I know some people like tennis and everything like that, because I know Steve Rao, who is with us, is a big tennis fan and all along those lines. So yeah, it looks like there's going to be some media wars going on, and they might be trying to pick up. And you mentioned Netflix earlier, and I was talking to Tofi as we were ending the news, because there's a big YouTube star, and I don't know if y'all watch him in Bangladesh, Dr. Sharif, but his name is Jake Paul, and he started off as a YouTube star, but he's going to do a big fight against an actual boxer, but it's all probably going to be his money thing and everything. But the only way you can get the fight is to see it on Netflix. So Netflix will be carrying this big battle and everything.
So Netflix is moving into the fight arena. That's quite interesting. Is it going to be a pay-per-view, Mark? Do you know?
That's my guess. Is it's going to be pay-per-view, but I need to double
I believe our network, Pod TV, because we just paid our developers who were in process to redesign our network, and so we're going to actually have pay-per-view available, I believe, starting next year, so that if you want to, you can put your show on a pay-per-view platform too as well, because apparently there's a big market for video on demand, VOD, and PVOD, paid video on demand type stuff. The other reason we're redeveloping our website is so we can get accurate head count of people who watched it. Because I know, Sasha, I get chess stars when I reproduce it. I know what I get. I get hundreds of people literally watch chess stars on LinkedIn. Okay. But I don't get the entire head count because I don't get Facebook. I don't get the Facebook groups. So they're saying if we do it this way, we'll actually get a head count, and we'll know how many people actually watch chess stars. We only get one demographic right now. It's been very frustrating. So hopefully these developers can fix the system, because I have been unable to do it. In other words, I get sporadic numbers. And what we did know when we routed everything through Vimeo, we got about 2.4 million. Okay, but we have to route it properly through Vimeo to get a head count. So we're going to reroute it through whatever they do for us, and hopefully be able to get a head count, so you know how many viewers watch the shows. And it should be done by first of the year. So this reason I can look at World Talent Economic Forum. I can go to an advertiser and said, oh, look, we got 20,000 people who watch Dr. Sharif, or 40,000. How many people in Bangladesh watch the show? I have no clue right now because I can't get a head count. So we're working on that.
One thing like a good media has a very good demand in Bangladesh, in South Asia. It's a very big market. Good media means, I just want to say, definitely dialogue is important, podcast is important, but besides that, if we can focus on cultural, if we can focus on sports, if we can focus on this talent and all of the things. You see, there's a global talent show. I always bring all of the talent from politics, from media, from business industries. I think this week, one of the very, very, very popular politician will join in my global talent shows. You can see, I think he has a huge audience. Million people love him. His name is Ali Nawaz Mahmoud Khoyam. So I will record tomorrow and I will send it to you. So this way, some interesting topics, I think we can develop some high quality media, because everything needs some sort of objective and impact. This way you can create a huge impact in South Asia. I think if you want to get into China, it will be very difficult with your media and housing. Even in Qatar or so, this Middle East market, how I see UAE, they do not like this freedom of speech and everything. It will be difficult. But South Asia, I think for media, like Western media, what you are developing, it has very, very good demand. Very good demand.
Yeah. Well,
you found one of their new tools that they have here on StreamYard, and you look like you're having a lot of fun with it. But yeah, apparently it's supposed to show you how it would look on the phone as well. So I'm actually going to go see how it looks on the actual thing. But what you're seeing on the screen is what it would look like if it was on the phone. So it shows the vertical view and everything. But if you watch it on TV, it just shows the regular view and everything like that. But that side view, which can confuse people that are watching us and everything, is how it would look on a telephone. So that is what the vertical is. So like I said, if you click on your TV, it's just showing the four of us and everything like that. But if you look on the StreamYard, you'll see that it is two images, because that's what the hide vertical is. It's showing how it would look on the telephone if you did it on the telephone. So it can confuse sometimes our people that are watching it on that are in the room and everything like that. Your headache because you're seeing yourself double, but it is showing, and it's a new tool that StreamYard came up with, what it would look like on the phone. So that view to the left is what it would look like on the phone if people have got it on their phone.
Yeah, and I've been watching more of the shows on my cell phone, but more people have been using their cell phones to capture media anyway, Mark. I think that's just going to be a growing trend, you know. In other words, people watching on cell phones.
Yeah, then definitely it's going to be a growing trend that more people are showing their phones, and there'll be more views that will be giving you the different views of how it looks on either the telephone or on a regular TV, on a regular computer, or whatever the case may be, and everything like that. So yeah, there'll be a new way that folks are doing that whole notion of showing you your images and everything like that.
I would agree. Sasha, what about the Ukraine show? How are you doing on that one? John Lockwood had some problems showing up.
Yeah, he had a problem with his voice. I think he was sick.
He has the voice.
I'm expecting him tomorrow. Ivan is coming once a week, usually Tuesdays.
Right.
Basically, it's doing fine. Of course, I don't have the contact with listeners of the show, so I cannot ask them questions or answer their questions, or there's no way I can communicate. So I don't know what they think, who they are, where they're coming from, where they're listening it from, North America or Europe or Ukraine or maybe even from Russia. I have no idea, and I don't know how that would work out.
Well, I mean, I do know that there's that QR code, which I think we still have. And Nick can
We do still have the QR code.
And the QR code, they can ask questions if they scan the QR code and everything like that. And definitely, I'll sometimes ask, and sometimes I'll put you on Instagram, and you can get questions that way as well. Sometimes what I do on some of my shows is, and I know that the Color Whisperer does it too, is that she'll ask people to if they have questions, to submit the questions, because she's an interior designer and her show is about interior designing. So you can also make a plea to your audience that if they have questions to ask either you or Ivan or Dr. Lockwood, that they can put those in there. We do get a lot of, I won't say a lot, but we do get some that are the kind of the folks that are scrolling to send us junk mail, for lack of a better term, because we do get some of those trolls. That's the word I was looking for, that send in the request to, like there's one that was on there, I think, on our economy show that was saying, you know, if you send us this amount of money, then we'll send you this amount of listeners and everything like that. But those are totally trolls, and they are trying to get Nick to spend some money and Kim to spend some money, so that they claim they will then send you 100,000 listeners or something like that. But it is totally a troll method.
So if I'm asking people for questions, so they will ask how they can submit these questions. What should I tell them?
Well, they can scan that QR code and they can submit it during the show itself and everything, because they can actually ask the questions directly. They can go on the podtv.tv and ask questions directly, because I know that that's still out there as well. Or you can do like I sometimes do and have them either send it directly to you, or they can send it to me as the producer, bluesradio@gmail.com, and they can send it either directly to you. So you can also make what I call a direct appeal. Even in my cultural center, we're making a direct appeal for some fundraising that we're doing. So you can make a direct appeal.
Okay, we'll try tomorrow.
Okay.
Yeah, I just threw up the QR code up there to the top right. So if you want people to ask questions, but they can only ask questions during the live broadcast. So when we rebroadcast, they can't ask questions.
Unless it was a direct appeal.
They can, but you won't answer them. You know, they can ask questions, but you're not going to be there. But yeah, it does allow for audience interactive. And we do have, we did our count. We have 42 or 43 active shows every week. So they all vary in terms of how active they have the participants use the QR code to ask questions. Some of them don't want any questions. Some of them have tons of questions. It really just depends. But we can put the QR code up and have people ask questions. So you can do that, Dr. Sharif, on your World Talent Economic Forum if you want to encourage people to ask questions. somehow you young people know how to do that. You put your cell phone next to the QR code and you press a button, and then you can beam in and ask questions. Us old guys, it's beyond my capability. I'm not a tech guy, so I think it's cool because it works. But other than that, what can I tell you?
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for your advice.
Yeah, you can do that.
Dr. Sharif, you said something about your because you called me yesterday. I actually had 2 calls. I had one from you on WhatsApp, and I also had one from our old friend Shaquille, but he was just calling to check in and everything like that. But you mentioned something about a thing that you're going for in the media. So share a little bit about that with us, since we got Nick here right now. So what is this that you're doing in the media yourself?
No, basically, Bangladesh has few important zones like Dhaka, like Mominching and Bogura. So we have election, right, in next year, February. So before that, BBC, they have NGO in Bangladesh, and they are working with grassroots level, and Pot TVs and BBC has same interest, right, doing media related activities, creating awareness. And that's why like definitely World Talent Economic Forums, we are trying to collaborate and applying for their grant, as it is in Bangladesh, and Nick has, and all of you have some audience and people in Bangladesh. So through this process, maybe we can, if we win, I do not know, I just apply, maybe we can engage with many people in Bangladesh, and we can do real media related activities, because honestly speaking, if you want to expand your business and activities, you need fund. Without fund, nothing is possible. So Nick is the leader. I thought that he has to take care all of his producers, what's going on, their financial things and everything. So basically, I am a scientist or researcher. I applied different kind of grants. So I already applied it, and that's why I called to Mark Lee, because growing as a media or as a I want to see institutions, you need appropriate fund to engage with the people. Yeah. Yeah. That is the things. Yeah.
Cool. So hopefully you'll get that. Hopefully you'll get that money, and hopefully maybe Sasha will find some money in Canada in the media, and we'll find some other money, because I know that Nick is always trying to find investors, and of course we're trying to find advertisers as well. So hopefully we'll get some of that stuff going also. So definitely a lot's going on. By the way, we got one of the people, it's actually one of Sharif's people that is saying what's up, because I know Jason is one of Sharif's people, so he's asking what's up to the folks here and everything. So he's saying, what's up, World Talent Economic Forum peeps? And he said, what's the topic today? So we're talking media, because it's the media topic. So if you got any thoughts around media, Jason, or just your role in the media, share it with us and everything, because I do know you.
Well, actually, that person is Dr. Sharif, who's showing up there.
Yeah, Jason is a very good friend of mine.
Jason's a friend of his.
A friend?
Yeah, he's on the show. He's on the show regularly.
Oh, okay. Is he from the United States, or where's he from?
Yes, he's from United States. They are from Transhumanist Party, but he's a very good friend of mine, and he always supports me. We have a lot of good friends from USA, many good friends. So he's one of them. Transhumanist Party, like all of the innovative people and scientists, they have some sort of political activities. But he's very nice man. He always loves our shows, and he always share our shows. So Jason, thank you for your continuous support of World Talent Economic Forum and Pot TV. So Pot TV
he's
also
near Chicago, so he knows Chicago.
Near Chicago. Oh, one of the trolls also showed up.
Yeah, I saw that.
There's the troll.
Yeah.
That's viewers. Steamboo.com. Remove the space.
And put in that, and
I have no idea what that means.
He's trying to sell you some viewers. That's what that means and everything. So what's going on in Chicago, Jason, since you're right there and you're watching us and everything? So I know there's lots going on in Chicago, because y'all got some good sports teams and y'all got some good politics. So Jason, if you're on there, just share with us what's going on. I'm sure that Nick can put in the website, or even Sharif, if you want to jump on, we can jump on as well. But we love to hear what's going on in Chicago, because I do know that you are a regular. While we're seeing if he wants to jump on, can you explain to our viewers, Dr. Sharif, what your view of transhumanism is? Because I know that he talks about it quite often, and I'm not even sure what it is.
Yeah, actually, transhumanism is growing, and it's getting very popularity around the world. And what the techno progressive things is happening. So definitely, this transhumanism concept, and all of them actually talented people, all of them actually talented young people. Jason, you are also a talent, and I like you so much. So they are, and they have a very good and disciplined team. What I like so much, and even Bangladeshi young people, Indian young people, Chinese people, Australian people, Middle East, many people, they love transhumanist community. That's why I join with them, and I'm taking some sort of responsibility from South Asia. So media is very interesting. Media, you can collaborate with political party, you can collaborate with institutions, you can collaborate with corporation, startup. So this way we can improve our like engagement and all of the things.
Yeah, that makes a
And
lot of
yeah.
Yeah, I see that he said crazy stuff is going on in Chicago. ICE has been going crazy, so apparently ICE is picking up a lot of people there in Chicago and everything. So ICE has been having its moments and everything like that. So definitely looks like that's going on. I won't hope Nick comes back, because I saw this interesting article from a month ago that he'll find interesting, because it's something he talks about. But apparently, trust in media, at least as of last month, was at a new low of 28%. So definitely, Republicans' confidence in mass media to report news fully, accurately, and fairly was at 8%. But just overall, a lot of people were not trusting the media, and they didn't really believe that the media was being fair and accurate and all along those lines. It looks like it was at record lows among both parties, but definitely among the Republicans. So definitely it hasn't risen above 21% since 2015, and it dropped to single digits for the first time in years. And it's down with the independents as well. So it looks like a lot of folks aren't trusting the media. Definitely the Democrats, the narrative majority is 51% now expressed trust in the media, which is a repeat of the previously low seen in 2016. But it looks like a lot of folks are not really feeling the media, even though we're in the media business, Nick. So what's your thoughts around these folks not trusting the media?
Unfortunately, have to fact check what you see, especially on social media, Mark. The other day, they were saying Obama spent $390 million on a basketball court on the East Wing. So I'm going, that seems a little high. I've never heard of it. So let me go fact check it. Mark, it was a complete lie. It was like he spent $5 million. It had nothing to do with a basketball court. It was just renovations. So, the real problem you have with the media, especially social media, so I'm going to pick on that, is anybody can post, and a lot of them, they just lie. They just don't care. They throw anything they want to at it. Oh, we have Jason bringing in here.
He said there's been a big shift. He's got something. He said there's been a big shift in the media landscape. People get most of their news from alternative media sources like social media and podcasts now, so they're getting it from other places. By the way, speaking of basketball coaches, because I was talking to a buddy of mine that used to live where I used to live, which is West Village, and West Village was partially created by two basketball players from Duke University, Christian Laettner and Brian Davis, and they did actually have a basketball court in that apartment complex. I think the basketball court is still there and everything like that. So they did, because they're basketball players and they built an apartment complex. They did
not $390 million. I mean, the thing is, see, this is the real problem you're having with the media, is that some of them are complete lies. And then the other problem we're facing right now is that, like, I'm in Facebook jail on one of my Facebook pages for reasons that aren't even made known to me. And so the thing is, unfortunately, the big media companies like Facebook and YouTube, which is owned by Google, they can shut us off. They can kill our shows whenever they want. In other words, they basically operate as big bullies, and there's not much you can do about it, because they're private industries. In other words, you basically, when you show up there, you're doing it at their leisure. Now, I have seen a lot of our shows, or at least clips, maybe due to you, Mark, is on TikTok. I'll see World Talent Economic Forum. Go, what's this? It's on TikTok. Wait a minute, I know this guy. Who is it? Oh, it's Sharif. Yeah, what's he doing on TikTok? And he doesn't even know he's on TikTok. And TikTok is a pretty big distribution group for us. So. And that's another thing that we have to experiment with is Restream, because Restream will stream directly into TikTok. and we're looking to do that. But realize they're politically, you know,
Yeah, I got a
sensitive
question.
also.
Speaking of TikTok and Restream, I got a question for Dr. Sharif since he's here because I just clicked on media news and I saw this gentleman. Looks like some news that came out today and everything like that. But it's talking about the actress Anna Sharif, who participated in the foundation stone laying ceremony of a new house being built under uh, one of y'all's other uh, social media people and everything like that. But it looks like this website is called Karela Kamadi Online. So tell me who the heck Karela Kamadi is and how they've got all this great following. But it looks like they're out of India and Bangladesh, and they've got all kinds of interesting things going on and everything like that. So they got like a whole social media empire going on.
Yeah, actually, like if you work country like Bangladesh, uh, where population is high and quality of work compared to USA is less. So it's very common, right? And now many people know Port TV in Bangladesh. So you can easily get lot of followers and lot of fan and people and other things. One thing I strictly follow beside this podcast, we do as I'm academicians. So we go for scientific innovation, research, developing startup, solving many complex problems. You will be happy. Let's say our World Talent Economic Forum institution, we go for master plan development like city plan developments and millions of people actually engaging. So what I'm ensuring, not only dialogues, not only discussions, beside that, take some small initiative, take some action to change human lives. So that may cause some followers and other things, but it does not mean I have a huge follower. uh, it's moderate, because TikTok and other things, that I do not use TikTok at all, honestly speaking. But even I'm not looking for too much of fan and follower and other things. I just want to focus on quality of work, and that is the way actually I get lot of good work, like many business incubations, many university, many corporations, bank, government agencies. They trust World Talent Economic Forum. Definitely, they trust Port TV. Let's say tomorrow, I have an interview with one of the NGO. They only work for this woman empowerment, and they want to develop the policy for Bangladeshi women. Why they choose me? Because, or shortlist me, because yes, definitely podcast is important, but I have my PhD thesis on women empowerment, and it's published around 8 different languages. So I want to focus on quality of work, very focus on quality of work and depth knowledge, because TikTok and other places, they have lot of influential people, lot of people come. Even yesterday, I see 15 people in Bangladesh. They are bike rider and they are YouTuber, and one of them died because they just doing video, and they go for long distance from Rajshahi to Chittagong. One of their TikToker, he died. So life is important. You want to be influential, that is good, but too much of influence and too much of excitement actually problem. So social media, those who are working, I request everyone, you should focus on quality of work.
Yeah,
That is very important.
definitely gotta have quality of work. Hey, Nick, I was seeing because we got newsworthy news stories where she brings a lot of stuff from Florida that there's uncovered stories, but there was another person that was doing something similar, and they were doing stories that were not being covered by the U.S. media, and they found like about 18 stories that were not being covered by us, including folks here on this network and everything, and including apparently Germany's domestic intelligence agency has officially labeled the Alternative for Germany an extremist organization, and that's one of their main rivals and everything like that. But the one that I thought you might find interesting, and I think it was their second story, was in a candid admission of Sweden's growing integration challenges, Prime Minister Ulf Kristersson has announced a major expansion of the country's voluntary return grants program. So apparently, like, you moved to Spain, but if you had moved to Sweden, immigrants who agree to leave Sweden permanently will now be offered financial incentives that can total up to about £32,000 or about 35,000 per adult, a staggering 3,400% increase from the previous 900 pounds. So this marks a sharp departure from a nation long seen as one of Europe's most welcome. And so, in other words, they're going to pay you money to go back to your country and everything like that. So I don't know if Spain offers that, but it looks like Sweden has got a lot of folks that are coming to their country, and maybe they're not always welcome. So they said, hey, we'll give you some money if you'll go back home and everything like that. So what is your thoughts? Because I know some of the African nations were offering money for people to come into Africa, but apparently they're offering money for people to leave the country.
Yeah, there's some, even Spain and Barcelona, they have anti-tourism here. In other words, they don't like tourists because they overrun certain parts of the city, especially the Gothic Center. And they do in Venice also as well. They call them turistas. They show up. And part of it's because of how they behave. But I wouldn't say it's so much the Americans. I'm going to blame it on the Russians, because I was at lunch the other day, and these Russians, they're kind of a sloppy group of people. I mean, they come in, they're loud, they're drunk, and they just unpleasant even to sit next to them. Also, knowing the fact that they decided they wanted to invade a portal Ukraine bothers me also as well. How they got into Spain, I have no idea. They may have come in before the war. They may be refugees from Russia. I don't know. But Russia's like a pariah. So I don't know what Sweden is doing on that. But, I don't think it's really these countries. It's the people from the countries. Some of them are good. They assimilate. They work really well. And some of them are bad. It's just like everything else out there, Now, in media, though, we were able to permeate most borders, other than certain countries that just lop off certain parts of the internet, like Russia did lop us off. We were having 20,000 viewers from Russia, and we have like next to zero, because they can just somehow they can shut you off for media access. But the rest of the world, we can pretty much beam into using the web. So we do get into about 150 different countries, which is...
we have a very popular show to be coming up in about 10 minutes. And right now we're in rerun season with that. But yeah, definitely our good friend has been doing a great job with the timeshare show. But at the beginning of the year, we'll have a new format. It'll be 30 minutes of her interview, where it had been an hour. And then we'll have 30 minutes of like a store of people that will be offering services. I think your pension company will be one of the services, and I think there'll be some people that might be offering some legal advice and maybe even some other vacation things as well. But they will be having like 30 minutes of the regular shows, as people have known it for about a year and a half or 2 years and everything like that. And then the other 30 minutes will be like a resource center. So that'll be like a resource center where people will get a chance to see what's going on in that space and all along those lines. So it'll be interesting to see how that plays out. And I'm sure Dr. Sharif might have some friends that want to bring some programming, some of his young people from Brazil or Bangladesh or other places that he is associated with to the network, because we're always looking for new programs and everything like that. And it doesn't even have to be news related or human interest, because a lot of our shows now...
Yeah, we're actually going to have a slot open up, Mark, because the TARDIS show, the timeshare show, is going to shrink from an hour to half an hour.
That's what I said. It's going to be a half an hour, and then the other half an hour.
We'll have a half an hour that we can bring another half-hour show to on the network. So
no, that's not true, because it won't be a full shrinkage. That's what I was just explaining. The way that it's done is it'll be 30. Is the show will be shrunk to 30 minutes, but then there'll be a 30-minute resource show. So that's what I meant when I said the other.
Really? Okay, so they're going to use up the whole hour then.
They will use up the whole hour. It'll just be a different format. So it'll be 30 minutes of the show itself, and then 30 minutes of resources. So people will be explaining some of their various resources that are in that timeshare space or in that advocacy space. So there's some people that she's been working with that will give us like 3 to 4 minute commercials.
Well, Mark, you may have to get with the developers who are going to be redoing the website, because you know where all the 42 shows are slotted, right. And we got to kind of like make sure that all the 42 shows get airtime on the live feed on Pod TV, and not bump into each other. So
and that's what I've been doing with Sean and everything, and the shows are pretty much aligned and everything like that. So hopefully,
and were you able to solve TJ Walker's show that he's able to
As
get
far
on?
as I know, Sean's been working on that. I've not been working on that much, but I'm hoping that Sean's
Yeah.
got that finalized because his show comes literally an hour or two, and I've been seeing that he's been steadily sending the emails to Sean, but they come right after on Tuesdays and Thursdays. They come right after Sharif because we air his show. Even though he tapes it earlier, we air it on Tuesdays and Thursdays here on Pod TV. So those shows are aired on those particular days. I believe at 6 a.m. our time, which is in the afternoon,
Right.
his time, and everything like that. So definitely we keep that running and all along those lines. So yeah, we keep those things going and everything. And we do have some new shows that are coming about. Like I said, I've got some people that are even trying to think about some creative shows and stuff like that. So we might even have some dramas and some things that are not just strictly news related. And like you said, we're doing pay-per-view. So maybe at some point we can get some pay-per-view sport.
I think when the new website goes up, we're going to be able to do pay-per-view. So the thing is, people can we can actually have video on demand. I don't know exactly how they're doing it, but we also have Blockbuster Video TV. So I think they may park the movies on Blockbuster Video TV. So if people want to watch movies, they can do it on demand through that website. But we'll definitely be able to have video on demand as well as paid video.
We learned something very interesting on Nick's show last night. I mean, not Rick's show last night, because we're taping every 2 weeks the late night show. Naked and Night, and he's got a real model that's being painted and everything like that. And we learned a couple of things. One, the real model made a lot of money, and then she lost a lot of money. But we also learned that JD, I think it's JD or is it JT, but the musician that's featured on that show, that he actually at one point in his life dated a Miss Universe. So he said it was because of the close to the proximity that he was able to find her, or she was able to find him. But yeah, he had the moment of being at least for a month with a Miss Universe.
Oh, really? Yeah, on Angry Geeks, they actually had on the show a director, producer of a movie called Trust, which was in the big screens, and also a movie called Manhattan. Plus, he's done quite a few. He's been an active producer for about 20 years in the New York City area. And he was on Angry Geeks, and Angry Geeks gets a lot of hits and views. It's kind of an interesting show. They go to a lot of the Comic Cons and different things around the U.S. I think Louis Perry's doing a great job with Sophia Comer, so that they always attract a big following in a very niche market. So again, it's where Pod TV has some action in these little niche markets. I don't even know if they have that type of stuff in Bangladesh. I mean, really, it's kind of a U.S. phenomenon.
No, I think they have. Y'all have Comic Cons in Bangladesh, don't you? People that are following Star Trek and following and dressing up in Star Trek outfits and stuff like that. Y'all have these young people do that in Bangladesh, don't you?
Yeah, definitely they do.
You do?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, have you ever met Louis Perry from Angry Geeks? Because he gets a big following here in the U.S. Dr. Sharif.
Okay. No, I do not.
Oh, we got to hook you guys up, because the thing is, he gets a big following here, and it may be a big following over in Bangladesh if you have Comic-Con type of people that like Star Trek.
Video games are very big in Bangladesh and Asia.
Avengers and all this other stuff. You'd have to see a show. It's called The Angry Geeks. I'll put it up here. It's on the Pod TV network. It's kind of an interesting show. He's been with us for years, but it's what I call a niche market. Okay. I got to type it right.
Well, speaking of a niche market, just for the fun of it, I typed it in. Comic-Con Bangladesh is actually an actual Comic-Con. They've got one that took place in September 5th, 2025. So definitely there was people celebrating the pop culture, the anime, and the cosplay. So it was definitely a big Comic-Con that was in Bangladesh, and apparently it's been going on for years. And yes, people do dress up in the cosplay outfits, so they dress up as their various characters and everything like that. So it does definitely go on with this whole notion of Comic-Cons being all over the world, including in Bangladesh.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll have to, Mark will have to introduce you to some of our 42 producers that have all these various different shows. So you can get them on the World Talent Economic Forum, and they get exposure to 50% of the world's population, which they don't really know about. And they get exposed to Americana, which I'm sure they don't know very much about, but they will if they.
Hey, Nick, what do you think the possibility is that we can go sponsor the Comic-Con in San Diego? Because apparently since 2010, Comic-Con has filled the San Diego Convention Center to capacity with over, are you ready to hear this? 100,000 attendees. So if that's how many people are in the Comic-Con in San Diego, California. So they have 130,000 people that come to that Comic-Con there in San Diego. So maybe we got to figure out a way that Pod TV can be a sponsor, because definitely they have sponsors as well. So maybe that's a new sponsorship opportunity that we can look at.
Well, we'll have to do it. But right now we're going to get you to Podcast Movement, which will be in Austin, Texas. It looks like that's going to be a go for you in March.
I've filled out the form.
Okay, good. Okay, because that looks like a go. And where we're going to go is off the air, so I can have dinner here in Barcelona.
All right.
And I guess Tart is coming up next, the Timeshare Show.
Is coming on next. Is a
Pod
repeat. So
TV Network, and we'll see you next week on the media show. But dinner for me. But right now, we got to say goodbye. Bye.
Bye.